because it says you're raising your hand. It's Zoom. You're drunk. Hey,
Hello.
look, it's Bonnie and Melissa. What are we
I
doing?
know. I'm excited.
I've missed you so much, and I know
This
I have also seen you, but I miss this.
is different. I know. I'm like, what's going on? I'm still talking to her. We're texting. We still meet. We did a webinar. I mean, those things, but this is just fun.
And it's fun. So this is technically not Melissa has questions.
Mm-mm.
Technically not, but it's also not the new thing yet.
Mm-hmm.
But we missed each other and we missed this. We missed y'all. So we wanted to do a like where are we?
Check in. It's a what is going on and what is going on with you and hi.
So where we got that when then we said let's start recording because that's where we're going.
Uh-huh.
I was on my YouTubes and saw someone that I used to see do regular broadcasts, regular astrology predictive stuff in my little sidebar with an update. And I went, oh, I haven't seen her in a while. Let's see what's up. Watched it. And it was, here's why I'm not doing predictive astrology anymore. And she basically said, because it is exhausting to look at the astrology of the next little bit and hold space for people who are looking for hope because it's a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just taking a lot out of me energetically. So I'm not doing anymore. And I wrote in the comments, okay, I think you are now giving me like breadcrumbs toward what it is that's got me stalled out on so much. Like, because it's not just our podcast project. It is multiple projects that I'm like, I'm so excited. And then I go, yeah, but what's the point?
Layers on layers on layers.
And what's the point?
And I
Yeah.
know. And in typical Cancer rising fashion, you're talking about that. I have nothing going on other than I did like 3 minutes ago. And I'm like, I
That
need the
part.
little old lady in church Kleenex. I mean, seriously, I'm like just tearful. But then also, it's not even oh my God. There's some degree of resignation, but not like in a giving up nihilist way, in
Correct.
a wow, this is really bad. But also, there are rainbows. And oh my God, this is what's going to happen. I have to shut things down because when I look at certain places, I start feeling that like panic as if I can do something about it. And I can't fix the whole damn thing. And yet, neither can you.
I think this ties into what we talked about in the Astrology of Activism Foundation webinar
Yeah.
that will be up and available for everybody soon. I promise.
Add
Soon,
it to the list.
soon is an interesting word, soon time. Yeah, but yes, add it to the list. That being cardinal people, cardinal on the angles, meaning cardinal first house, fourth house, seventh house, 10th house, cardinal being Aries, Cancer, Libra, Capricorn. Cardinal on the angles people, we are looking for what is the solution, what is the leadership that we need to provide, because it's up to us to have an answer. If you come to us for a tough conversation, we are not going to just have a tough conversation. We're going to formulate, articulate some answers, some options. And right now, you know,
And right now, I'm writing every workbook I could work to try to find the answers. And at the end of it,
it's both completely overwhelming how much can be done and also
where's the
it's that back page that you've got when you held that up. It's just blackness. Okay. All right. I see words now. Okay.
not many though. They're very dim. They're dim. It's hope muted. It's hope murky.
We're going to play word search in your workbook, and everything is black on black on black, and good luck.
Redacted, 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 redacted. Just kidding, just kidding, just kidding. But so again, whoop, whoop, here I am moving around with the feelings. Um, I I don't feel hopeless. This very second asked me 3 seconds ago.
That exactly. So I love to watch the murder shows, and I've seen them all now. So I now watch things like Signs of a Psychopath, like where we go in and watch interviews with psychopaths and highlight this.
You mean watch the news?
So that's what I'm getting to. You nailed it. So it's this trait, this trait, this trait, this trait. And there was one where they were talking about, yes, all narcissists. Yes, absolutely 100% all narcissists, because, and this is something we've talked about before with the medial prefrontal cortex and the part of your brain that lights up when you only see yourself and only see yourself in the now, narcissism, versus you have all this empathy and you can actually see future you, past you, other people very, very unlike you, and the medial prefrontal cortex lights up more because you have empathy for all of these other versions and timelines of humanity, that describes us. There is, scientifically, something that is just shut down to this very narrow, I'm only lit up when I'm thinking of myself. They layered on, there's also this thing called sadism. And I'm like, yeah, I got it. I know what that is. And it's like, then they said the phrase that I went, oh my God, this is everything. The phrase was, there is no such thing as collateral damage for the sadist, because to the sadist, creating the most pain for the most people is the pleasure. And so this whole time I've been going, well, we've got narcissists for leaders, and that's our problem. We've got all these capitalist driven, white supremacy culture rooted people doing things that benefit the billionaires and the white people, and that's it. And then I'm like, it can't just benefit them. It has to actually torture everybody else. And so when Keith came out and said, so they're going to reopen the government because these assholes. And so, right. So we're so close, and here's all the things that are wrong. He goes, and I'm really looking forward to hearing how do we get to the place we need to go when this kind of shit happens. And I said, well, this is where I love that my favorite podcast is This Week in White Supremacy, because what they're going to say is, this is evidence that nobody actually wants anybody to get anywhere in this system. It's even if they can use words like, we're fighting for you until we're just going to reopen things because, I'm sure it'll work just fine. It's like,
and I hesitate to say, but will say, it's not just one group.
That's the part that I was saying to Keith. I was like, unless the system was built to do exactly this. And
right.
And the system is the problem, not a certain population within the system. Right.
That's right. So it occurred to me when you were talking about,
I know, right? Like, where's my crystals? Hang on, I need the big one. I need the big one. Hang on. Okay. All right, go ahead.
I'm just gonna put these all over my
screen. Okay. Yeah. Okay.
It occurred to me when you were talking about these individuals who can't see past this, and they not the part about the collateral damage, but just like it is about me, and it's about me in the now. And it's the same reason children whose brains are not developed find it really important to pick up a crayon and write their name on everything, every building. Here's the office where I'm supposed to work. I'm gonna put a freaking sign on it. I mean, when I was young, I wrote on the things. I wrote my name on everything. I wrote my name on the bottom of my shoes, on the side of my shoes. My mom was horrified. And I just, in no world at the age where I am, it's like monogramming has a place, maybe, but it's so you don't lose your kid, and so your kid learns their name.
You've hit it, because narcissism is a trait we are born with, because evolutionarily it helps us survive. We have to be focused on me now, or we don't get to a future me or future people. And it doesn't matter about past me, because that is an evolved brain concept that has me make decisions that are not necessarily best for me in the now, because it's better for everybody in the collective. And that's an evolutionary construct of an evolved executive function developed brain versus survival. And over time, we grow out of narcissism because we learn we're in a society, we're in a culture, there are other people, and there's future me. There's not just now me. I need to work out, not because I want to right now, but because I want future me to have better advantages physically that working out right now will have me do. Getting screened for certain things medically. Like, this is all stuff that changes evolutionarily for some people.
That's right. But if there is no future you continue to operate in the current you, but you just get older.
Correct.
And bigger.
And that is why your name has to go on everything. And you have to, like the idea that let's remove.
What if I just wrote my name on the front of my house? What if I just went out right now and did it?
Well, and decided I'm also going to remove any place where my name is that I don't like it. Like in the museum, in the, in the what is it? There was an exhibit on people who have been impeached. And we're going to cut out this, so we're just going to take out anything that we don't like, because we're sure it's going to stay like that after I'm dead. And it's like, none of this as soon as you die, all of this goes away, because nobody's going to keep up these ridiculous lies.
It's like, it's an issue with object permanence.
That.
Yeah. Piaget would say.
Yeah. Go ahead. Piaget on it.
If something's not right there, if something, like if you turn away and you're not like right in it, it no longer exists. So if you turn away from yourself, do I exist? I don't know. Do I exist? I have to be careful, or I want to be careful, being a licensed professional who has not met certain individuals. However, I will say, having worked in the criminal justice system and having worked for a 20 something years doing evaluations in prisons, in jails, working with people in groups, I feel pretty qualified to talk about sociopathy.
I think so.
Versus just narcissism, which is no fun, depending on the degree. And this is like sociopath.
Yeah.
Behavior.
Yeah.
In my opinion, having not assessed anyone. And it's not just one person. There's a group of enablers and probably just sociopaths there too, and narcissists.
So I saw an interview with Malcolm Gladwell recently for the book that he wrote last year that I've not read, but it's The Revenge of the Tipping Point, which is where he takes his seminal work. Outliers is probably the one he's most known for, but The Tipping Point was the big first book that everybody became aware of. And he takes a look at it 20 odd years later and says, let's look at where this goes wrong. Let's look at where this sort of thing gets us where we are now. And again, this came out last year, but he, in this interview, was talking about some things that made me go, I'm going to want to look at some of this. He said, my phrase is the population of thirds, which is where there's a third of the population that's your super fan, a third of the population that's like meh about you, and a third of the population that hates you just on concept. They don't even have to know you. They just hate you because you exist. And when we can get into a place of, I'm just going to work with my third, we give ourselves a lot more space to be creative, because we're not trying to convince people or convert people or whatever. Right. So he's got a thing that is the concept of a third, and I don't know, it wasn't population thirds, but not the point. Whatever it was you need to have a third of a population that is unrepresented in a room or on your TV screen or in a boardroom or wherever, for them to be able to make change or make a difference. And so we use this with DEI. It's not just who's the token hire. It's do we actually have a board of directors that looks like we say our values want us to look.
Right.
So I was thinking about that with regard to something that Cheeto and Chief did, that they showed, where an NBC News reporter said, "Can you please talk about how the price of this Thanksgiving dinner at Walmart is actually higher than it was last year, and it's less food, so it's far less value, but
And different quality food.
you keep saying that it's lower than it was last year." And he says, what news outlet are you from? And she says NBC, and he goes, fake news, and you're a joke, blah blah blah. And everybody else in the room laughs. And I went, that right there, we need a third of the people in that room to go, no, answer her. We need a third of the people that are in that fucking room to do the things that are this. My fellow journalist asked a really good question. And then when you say, no, I'm going to move on to Fox News, the Fox News reporter needs to say, actually, I want to know the answer to that question. And of course, then everybody goes, then you don't get invited back. They'll just bring somebody else in. That he's going to surround himself with yes men. And I'm like, and this is how we get our favorite celebrities overdosing, because they're surrounded with yes men who say, no, you're not, you don't have a problem.
Right. I'm surprised that some of the people, like for instance, Caitlin Collins, he gets on her every single day and she gets some questions in and she's still invited back. And I don't know how that's happening, honestly.
Is she pretty? Is she pretty? Because he likes pretty.
Yeah, she is. But she's not blonde, although
we have some not blonde Mar-a-Lago face people.
Oh my God. We have some. She's not. Yeah, she's pretty. In my opinion, she is.
But that is a value for him. Yeah. And why isn't everybody at the end of every sentence saying, okay, great, release the Epstein files? This was a great press conference. Release the Epstein files. Quit burying them under your damn ballroom.
Can I tell you how much my brain hurts that I look at the TV and say, Marjorie Taylor Greene just made sense.
Oh, honey, come on now. I did not have that on my bingo card, as the saying used to go. Like,
I know.
No.
But she is continuing. And I'm sure there are reasons, but she's continuing to say, release them. Where are they? Release them. Where are they? And I'm like, oh my gosh.
Yep. And I've heard the reason she's being so mouthy about all this is because she now can't run again. And that means there's nothing to lose. So she might as well state her actual opinion. And I'm like, you mean her actual opinion this whole time has been reasonable? Right. And she just hasn't shared it because she knew that she could stay in politics longer if she towed the line?
I mean, the whole thing is gross. There's no question. It's all gross.
Okay, so yeah, please.
What?
Well, so here's what I want to know.
What?
The astrology of it all is also gross. And is that why it's hard right now to get to that place of, yes, all of that is gross, but look what we have to look forward to. Look at where we're headed. There is a light at the end of the tunnel. I'm like, there is a light at the end of the end of the tunnel. And that light is the headlight from an oncoming train.
Or maybe a UFO.
Please be a UFO. Please be a UFO. Please be a UFO. Take us back.
I hope they're nice. I really hope they're nice.
I mean, I rewatched Terminator and Terminator 2, and I was like, no notes.
Right? Yeah, it's difficult to look at predictive astrology, particularly way out. I feel like I'm doing okay, like way out there isn't helping me right now. What's helping me is like right this minute saying, oh, okay, well, maybe I'll get my things together in this current Mercury retrograde in a place in my chart that is in the 6th house, which is looking at my health. I mean, already I was doing that before Mercury started wobbling. But okay, what do I need to do looking at before the end of the year? What are some things that I feel are mundane, just boring? What about my routines? Or, I got, not trying to, but I got this little thing.
Wait. We got to see that. Make it bigger. Okay. What is it? Oh, is that one of those like takes all your pulses and things?
Yes. And I'm sure because they already have all my information anyway. So whatever. But
because I'm like, I would have that thing with a tinfoil hat on it.
I do not. I've just given in. I'm
Okay.
like, all right, I'm gonna be here for a finite amount of time. I might as well be healthy. So this is helping me. So these
It's giving you
very,
data. Yeah. Okay.
yes, these very specific, structured, internal instructions, and it's gone inward. I think because of the Mercury. Like, how am I communicating with myself? How am I communicating about my schedule? How am I communicating in my health?
Mm-hmm.
Those types of things I can manage. And then I'm like, okay, we're going to get out of this retrograde, but then I'm kind of looking at things in chunks.
So let's talk through that. So, and you and I've done Mercury talks before in the old podcast. Like it's a big player. Mercury currently in Sagittarius,
Mhm.
not their favorite sign to be in already. Like Mercury is in detriment and fall in Sagittarius and Pisces. It's just these signs are not places where Mercury communicates best. And it's because Mercury is detail, 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 and get the signals from one place to another place, the brain to the mouth out. And Sagittarius is like all the places, explore, go everywhere. I'm ruled by Jupiter, more, more, more. And it's just a little much. It's overwhelming. And then Mercury's been out of bounds for a couple of weeks before even going retrograde, and now is retrograde and headed back toward Mars, which it's already done a conjunction of in the other direction. That's right, them's fighting words. And we're like, so this is not the happiest Mercury. And on Mars, we gotta say it, we gotta shout it, we gotta fight it, we gotta light it on fire. What 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 do we do with the chunks? When does this chunk end and the next chunk begin? Is it when Mercury goes direct in Scorpio? Because Mercury's about to go back over into Scorpio during this retrograde, right? If I
I
go,
don't think so. I think that this chunk ends for me when Mercury gets maybe to the point where Mercury stopped in Sag.
oh, so we've got like toward the
That's
end
for
of the year.
me.
Yeah, I got you. I got you. Okay, so here we go. We've got let's look at actual exactness. Mercury went retrograde on the 9th of November at 6 degrees Sagittarius, which is where they currently sit because very slow. At the very beginning of retrograde and the very end of retrograde, these stations are like a standstill of the planet, like just if we go with the illusion, just starting to do the thing that's going to make them appear to go backward. So they stay suspended at that degree for a little bit. So on Sunday of this week, we're meeting on Tuesday, the 11th, 11, 11. Whoop, whoop.
It's my anniversary.
Happy anniversary. Cute numbers, girl. I love it. Love it. Love it. And I love y'all. Okay.
Best
So
I ever.
this y'all are,
I mean, no offense, Keith.
no, y'all are such a cute couple too. Like just best guy, best girl, best couple. Love, 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 love. So and 11, 11. Oh, so cute.
Superlatives.
So Mercury on the 9th started this retrograde, and it was just a couple days ago. And then we say that's at 6 degrees Sagittarius. We take a look at when it goes direct on the 29th of November at 20 degrees Scorpio, which means from the 9th to the 29th, we are redoing degrees that we already did in October.
And may I just footnote? That was not a good time for me. And maybe not for you. And maybe not for a whole bunch of other people who have texted and gone, what the ever loving fuck is, happening?
A lot of texts, a lot of messages from people going, what the fuck? And I actually got so mad that Keith was not understanding how I was trying to communicate that he left to take the dog out, and I threw the bag of Halls that I had in my hand at the door, and it went bam. And I'm like, that is exactly how I feel. That is exactly how I feel right there. And of course, my husband has PTSD, and he just heard I know, right behind where note to Gillespie, there are kinder ways to express yourself. That was not cute.
You can text me.
We're lucky I didn't burn the house down. I was having a Mercury conjunct Mars moment. And in my natal chart, I have Mercury conjunct Mars in the sign of Mars's fall.
Oh, no. Yeah.
So I was getting a trine from Mercury conjunct Mars in Scorpio to my Mercury conjunct Mars in Cancer. So I knew this was coming. I knew there was going to be a massive fight, which is why I went underground, because I'm like, if I'm not talking to anybody, I can't fight with anybody. Found a way. Scorpio digging underground, still gonna find a way to fight.
I mean, there was some serious, I hesitate to say darkness, but I fell on dark days. Seriously, for a few days, you and I both were like, meh.
Not okay. Not okay.
No, just this is brutal.
And usually when we get together, we can fix one another. And we were like, nope, can't do it.
Sorry.
Got nothing. No fixing.
Right.
Yep.
So my question is,
when do we get out of shadow?
Well, as you were talking about it, moving back to that place in Scorpio.
To the 29th when it goes direct.
Do you get, is this okay, we get a redo and we get the chance to do the not throwing the halls situation, or me not losing, you know what I mean?
Here's
what it works.
Here's the big benefit to all of this. If we go back to when Mercury retrograded, oops, that was the last time right there. When Mercury retrograded, we had Mercury and Mars hanging out together, but Mercury had crossed over Mars. So let's go back a few days and you'll see that Mercury and Mars, as we go back, Mars was in Scorpio. When Mercury left Scorpio, we got a little breather, because getting them apart, not only a few degrees, but also by sign, changes also in whole sign houses where in your chart, house-wise, that energy is. So getting them split up, we already got a little break right at the first part of November. So at the end of October, though, when we had Mercury and Mars in late degree Scorpio, Mercury had gone out of bounds. So we had Mercury with no rules. We're in the shadow of the retrograde. We know it's coming. And so when they were together, which is right over here.
I remember the day.
Right here.
It's why teachers rearrange seating charts.
October 20th. These kids together are no good. They're going to both get notes sent home. We can just move them to different parts of the classroom and they're going to be fine. Let them have that. Yep. Let them have that chemistry in the lunchroom where it's somebody else's problem, because I'm drinking in the classroom alone while the kids are in.
It's water.
It is, but still, it's a great illustration. But okay, so here we are with Mercury and Mars together in Mars ruled Scorpio. So it is extra Marsy. It is extra like, come on, Mercury, be bad with me. No problem. Because again, Mercury out of bounds, in the shadow of coming into retrograde, about to go into the sign of its detriment and fall. There are a lot of reasons that Mercury will say, please be a bad influence on me, Mars. And it's not that Mars is always a bad influence on everything, but Mars is a malefic, which does mean bad guy. And we had this energy starting up, not just here on October 20th when it was exact, but days before, while Mercury was moving toward Mars. So even as long before as, we're going to say October 11th, we've got Mercury moving toward Mars and aware, I'm going to have to climb over you. And it's like changing drivers in a stick. You know, you drive a stick and you got to change driver to passenger. Get out, stop the car, get out and go around. Don't try to climb over that stick. That's getting over Mars. Mercury trying to get over Mars is like that. Okay. Like it can be done, but it's not going to be cute. Okay. So we had that. But then now I'm going to go in the direction that time tends to go instead of going backwards. And we see that Mercury gets over onto the other side of Mars. And so now we're getting to the place where Mercury moves out of Scorpio. We get a little bit of a breather because of that. And we're like, okay, we're going to be fine. But then big bad Mars goes, no, I'll come join you. And as of November 4th, we get all that voting energy, which was amazing and wonderful. And then we get Mars back in there on top of Mercury going, I'm still here. Hey, buddy. Hey, buddy. And that pressure the reason now Mars is moving toward Mercury, which shouldn't be possible because Mars is not as fast as Mercury. Mercury's not going in the right direction, not retrograde yet, but stationed, which means still. So they can't move out of Mars's energy. So as you see Mars getting closer and closer, you're going, how is this bad guy getting closer and closer to Mercury? Mercury should be all the way over to Capricorn by now. What the fuck? And instead, we're feeling that pressure. But wait, the chase is now over. It's November 9th, and Mercury's going to go retrograde. So now I'm going to be running toward the bad guy.
That feels like a head-on collision.
And I'm going to try and climb over that stick shift again.
And the stick shift is a knife. I'm sorry.
Bingo. Ouch. It is. It's a knife. It's a knife.
So when is the collision gonna happen?
Okay. So when do they get together again? Because it's so cute when that happens. Actually, I went over it so fast. It is going to be on tomorrow.
Yay.
So we're in it. We're in it right now. So this is going to be, we take Mercury conjunct Mars. Let's get the exact. It is going to be November 12th, Wednesday at 3:15 p.m. Pacific. So 5:15 for you. I went the wrong way. 5:15 p.m. for you. 3:15.
Do we have our thing? We don't have our aligned.
No, tomorrow I have JFDI and Mistress Minding. So we will not meet tomorrow, but I will be with people. But I will be we'll be with people that we can go there.
Right.
So that's when it's exact. But even after that, Mercury is going to still be within that I just cut my crotch climbing over this stick shift made of knives situation.
Ouch.
So there's blood dripping everywhere and Mercury's headed back into Scorpio.
Poor thing.
Of course,
right. We're heading back into Scorpio, which is comforting and welcoming.
Because Scorpio loves blood. So Mercury gets back over there. It's like Mercury's back to Scorpio. So when you ask, do we get a do-over where things are better? I don't know. How's Mercury feeling making it back into Scorpio at this point?
Blood in the water. That sounds like chum to me.
Exactly.
Maybe not. I'm being ridiculous. And this is where I feel like a really raunchy, ridiculous sense of humor gets you through a lot. And then also maybe some spiritual bypassing. Like, what does it look like if Mercury and Mars, when they meet up, if they spin for a second and do the tango, could that be lovely? I don't know. Just, throwing
come up
things
with
out
something.
there.
Yeah, come up with something. Yeah. So Mercury no longer has the effect of Mars as they station direct on November 29th. But that whole time of like going through there, Mercury's going to have to tango with the sun and tango with Venus, both of which are going to help Mercury. The cazimi of the sun and Mercury getting together, which happens every retrograde, that little of them connecting like that is going to be potentially a bright spot. And let's look at exactly when that is, since we're doing.
I think it's right after. Wait, so
it is on the 20th. November
20th. Okay.
Yeah. November 20th at 1:23. I love that. 1:23 a.m. Pacific. So 3:23 a.m. for you. So they're down here now. We've got Mercury conjunct Sun.
Oh my God.
And the cazimi means within 17 minutes, not like you're not just by degree, you're down to like beep, beep. And by the way, the conditions before cazimi and after cazimi are some of the worst that you get, and it's called combust. So when you have a combust Mercury, not good, but you got to get through the combust to get to the cazimi, and then you got another combust to get through to get on the other side. Yes.
Would you mind looking at the packed car in Scorpio?
Mm-hmm. So we've got Venus does not do well in Scorpio. Black Moon Lilith probably loves that, right? What you just did.
Yes, I think Lilith is
Big,
Scorpio
big
embodied.
double, yeah, big double digits on that. And then Mercury and Scorpio embattled on top of this sun and Scorpio, fine, on the way out, getting to, and then the sad moon at 29. Come on now.
29 degrees.
So let's look at this new moon in Scorpio that we're going to get. This new moon in Scorpio, where we're supposed to plant seeds.
I wonder if we could plant them really deep and just kind of dig down and just like sit there for a minute.
Can I plant seeds in a tomb for myself?
Sure.
So the new moon is on the 19th, and it's on the 20th for you. So it's on because it's late night on the 19th here in Santa Monica. So for you over there in Nash Vegas, it's going to be the 20th at midnight 47 a.m.
Oh my God. Look at him.
Yeah, how does that feel? So we got an embattled Mercury on the way to cazimi, new moon in Scorpio, moon not happy in Scorpio, Venus not happy in Scorpio, Black Moon Lilith, given the double. Can you talk a little bit about Black Moon Lilith while we're here, and then we'll come back to this, because this is something that every time I'm asked about Black Moon Lilith, I'm like, talk to Melissa Crim.
Oh, what can we say about Lilith? Unbelievable. She gets a bad rap. And as Rachel mentioned one time, she was like, well, there were some things. And also it's not a, it's not a zero sum. Mythologically, she's freaking awesome. Do you mean to talk briefly mythologically or astrologically or what?
I love both, and you do so well with them. What in the concept of Mercury is going to be in this packed car, having just climbed over the knife wielding stick shift, and Mars is now in a different sign, so there's that. What is this tango going to feel like with Black Moon Lilith there? Like, what is her influence in this space?
Well, Lilith in a water sign is about emotion, depth. In Scorpio, good Lord, like, okay, we're gonna bring some things to the surface. Bringing some things to the surface. So the sun is there, and then the moon is the feeling, and then Mercury's. So I mean, I don't know. I know it impacts people differently, obviously. And I think I didn't see that Lilith was retrograde.
She's not.
Okay. I've been studying about that too, and that's pretty fascinating.
Yeah, she's not. She's good.
But
She is right on that new moon. Like
she's not kidding.
She's less than 2 degrees away from that. She's a degree and a half, not even from that.
I mean, to me, that feels more unapologetically. I'm going to feel my feelings. I'm going to put it out there. It might not be pretty, or maybe, with Mercury and the expression of it, I don't know how that looks. It might be more internal. That might be it's time to be really kind to yourself, like really, really kind to yourself in these deep and murky waters with Mercury moving back and some, internal bullshit.
How are we kind to ourselves though, when all of this in Scorpio, like Venus is not happy there and the moon is not happy there? Being kind to ourselves tends to require some reliance on Venus and the moon letting us know we're allowed to do that.
What I think in this situation is, because there's so many players there, I'm wondering if paying attention to the sign is, for me, that would be really important. Looking at, okay, what is Scorpio asking of me? Scorpio's asking that I don't bullshit myself, that I don't bullshit other people, that I lean into, even if it's painful, even if the messaging is not favorable, looking at where can I step up and not take responsibility, but, looking at other people, looking at myself, what are the messages that need to come up? And with Lilith, I mean, I think in balance, Lilith can be, I reject the premise that I am too emotional, or if we're looking at Mars, Pluto, it's so like there's so much going on, and the feel of Pluto and the feel of Mars with
Totally.
Scorpio. I this can be pointed, and you're not going to shame me for being too emotional or
Oh, I love
too,
that.
this or that, and
Oh, I love that. What if that is about I'm not going to accept shame around my emotions?
right.
I love this because so one of my longstanding truths about shame is shame always requires a plus one. Like
Mm-hmm.
if you say no, I feel shame internally and no one even has to be around to see it, it's
Right.
because someone planted that. That it's someone else's idea of what I should feel shame around if it is entirely internal, because
Mm-hmm.
shame require like that's it's how it works in evolutionary brain. We need shame to keep us in the pack, to keep us behaving in pack approved ways. We look at all the things that we talked about in the earlier part of this conversation about people. Yes, yes. Oh, you're hilarious. You're so funny. Oh, it's so good how you called that fake news. Like that is, I'm going to use, even if there's a voice of shame in there to keep me in this pack, it's to survive.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
That would be a poignant moment in that situation. If someone felt, you know, Scorpio, that's not an okay thing to say.
right.
And then it was like, hey, that's not an okay thing to say to that person, or that's not an okay thing to say to or about or do to or, a group of people. And instead of it being like, oh, just laugh it off. No, no, I'm not. Not being too sensitive, not being too emotional. This is just not okay, and I'm going to bring it to the surface.
Okay, I'm feeling more optimistic about where we're headed astrologically. Look what you did.
What do you know? I love Lilith so much. In in the workshop that I did, I wasn't sure how it was going to go, and with people showing up and having these conversations based on Lilith in the element,
Yes.
it was so interesting that the messaging for these groups of people were so similar. Air sign people. Get out of your head. You don't have to overthink it, be quiet.
So these are for people with natal Black Moon Lilith in air signs.
Yes.
Okay, go through all the elements. This is good.
Yes.
Please.
For fire, Lilith in a fire sign can often be, depending on a lot of things, retrograde or direct, can be, you're too much. You need to pipe down. That spark is too much, or just or there can be shame for that, or there can sometimes be an over a leaning too much toward that,
Oh yeah.
like a real like leaning toward it. For the people who were water Lilith, it was the intuition, like you have to have facts. Don't trust your intuition. That's woo. That's ridiculous. You're too emotional. Pull yourself up by your bootstraps, get some thick skin. And for the people who had Earth Lilith, several of them, it was about sensuality, not
Mm.
necessarily sexuality, but
Right.
certainly that as well. But like really, even like liking fine things or being in tune with. I mean, some of them are very earthbound and got the you're weird for being so earthbound. Into the earthy things, but a lot of people it was, you're too sexual, or you're too sensual, or cover up. It's like a lot of it has to do with bodily autonomy. So those are the experiences, whether it's like self-shame or other shame. That's
Okay. So I'm having a flashback to the Me Too movement,
hmm
and specifically how it took. I want to say there was a scandal that happened with stars sex tapes and nudes getting 4chan'd out into the world or something like that.
I remember that.
And Kristen Stewart was interviewed, and someone referred to it as a sex scandal, or no, it was Jennifer Lawrence. Jennifer Lawrence was interviewed and said, someone said the scandal, blah, blah, blah. She said, hang on, it wasn't a sex scandal. It was a crime. It was a theft of personal images and then exploitation of those personal images. And it's like that moment of this was a crime. It's not a sex scandal. You can't tie it up with a Cosby shaped bow or a Kevin Spacey flourish. It's got to actually be no. This is not okay. Let's label it a crime. It's like when I hear people talking about the Epstein files and saying underage women, I'm like, that is not a phrase. There's no such thing as an underage woman. An underage woman, there's a different word for that. That
doesn't exist.
That's right. That's a girl. Right. So quit trying to make it.
Words matter.
Yes, they do. And when we start using words that favor white supremacy culture, the collective of capitalism, the billionaire class, when we use words that make it easier and better for them, softer for them. Yeah, they're just boys. Boys will be boys.
It's like we're just gonna be ladylike with our words.
Exactly. And
we don't want to offend anyone's sensibilities.
But let's actually use the words. Let's label what's happening. And don't even get me started on when things are taken to trial and we always label the less advantaged person as it's that person's trial, not this is the person who is on trial for doing the bad thing. It's like, can we call it, associate the trial with the person who did the bad, allegedly, of course. But again, I have a whole thing on take the high road is a weapon of the privileged to say to people who don't have privilege in the situation, asking you to take the high road. You're never going to be asked to take the high road when you have the privilege. It's always the person who is being treated poorly. I'm going to ask you to take the high road. And it's like, I'm actually going to not. I'm going to take the road.
Because you're on different roads.
That's right. I'm going to take the road that I'm actually on, and I'm going to call a thing, and I'm going to tell you this is what this is, and we need to get better at labeling it and all that. Is this potentially, with that Lilith influence, something like the tipping point of Me Too movement, Black Lives Matter, any of those things that reached that collective pitch of we're not going to take this anymore. This is not okay. Like, are we potentially getting there? And I say this I say this knowing we were closer to that before 8 people voted. Yeah, let's go ahead and bring back the government.
That's right. That's right. No, what I am thinking, as we're not doing any sort of predictive astrology, is, what about the Epstein files? What about the Epstein files? And also, hey, I want to approach the Supreme Court to see if they will absolve me from having to pay any money for what I did. I don't know. I think what happens is I feel guardedly optimistic, and then I feel when something good does happen, then I feel a bit cynical on the other side. So it's insulated. There's this little bit of hope, but it's insulated with no, maybe, no, but nothing. There are a lot of things that would make me happier than this, but few things would make me happier than if at that time Lilith were just to release the Kraken and blow that shit right up. What day of the week is the 20th, 19th, 20th?
Wednesday, Thursday. Okay. So the new moon, late night Pacific time on Wednesday, the 19th, overnight on the 20th, Thursday, for most folks.
Do you see that Uranus opposition?
Oh, fuck me. Wow. I missed that. Both retrograde.
Uh-huh.
Ooh.
And then also let us look at, look at Neptune.
Wait. I'm looking at Mars approaching the bendings of the nodes.
Uh-huh.
When we get something squaring the nodes. So let's see when that happens. That is extra.
Oh, please.
That is extra spicy. That is extra spicy.
Yeah, it is.
24th. Okay. Mars at the bendings of the nodes. So squaring the nodes. We've got Mars. Whoa, look who's here with Mars.
Yeah.
Black Moon Lilith. Brr.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. That's an FAFO situation.
It is, y'all. Oh my goodness.
I'm not scared of it.
Okay. Can I come over to your house and hide in your fort?
Yeah. You can, I mean, I'm not saying that I'm not going to just blow through and pretend like it's not there because again, let me mention previously, it was not a great month in October. However, there's guess they're scooching back out and I need new contacts is what it is. I'm looking at this. Yeah, I think that's not a bad thing.
That's intense.
You know, the other interesting thing about Lilith is that when I was doing the workshop before, I don't know how many people, 30 people, I was like, I'm going to look at everyone's chart. I want to very much check out where it is, what's going on. And there were a few people who had birthdays relatively close, like, or at least in the same year. And I mean, I at one point was like, this is messed up. There is no way she can be two signs away within however many months, because it's supposed to be like 9-ish months, which is super interesting because gestational period is
Right.
9 months. Blah. So, I was looking on like Luna and then I went to Astro. I mean, all these different ones. And I realized, oh my God, she's like zip, 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 moves forward, backward, gets out of. And so like when you showed me that, I'm like, well, what's happening the next day? Because she's skedaddles.
Yep. I am Black Moon Lilith. That orbit is not round.
She doesn't conform. Mm-mm.
There's a lot. Look at, show me orbit. Why everything's just this same picture over and over again?
It's not easy. I want to get a mobile. I want to make a mobile.
So, you know what? That is where my energy has been recently. I, years ago, started making oracle cards for Chart Harmony and got them to a certain point. And the way you start with the at least technique and method that I'm using is on blocks of wood. Like each, like you paint the wood and then you start doing crafty things on top of the wood and then you scan them and that makes the art unique and three-dimensional looking and all that.
Wow.
And those are the cards, right? So I started that process and then we got a puppy and the puppy chewed on my paint supply, paint brushes and things. I was like, I put this away. Okay. Haven't gotten that back out, but also around that time, I bought kits to do shrinky dinks for Chart Harmony.
We talked about this before. Where are they?
And so I was making shrinky dinks for kids who are not Gen X. You are lesser for not having experienced shrinky dinks because shrinky dinks were amazing use of toaster oven. So great. You
easy bake oven.
I'm like, sorry, environment. Take plastic.
I know.
And make yourself some toys. This was our 3D printer. We had plastic and color them, draw them, cut them out, put them like make a keychain out of them because they shrink. They start this way and then they shrink down to these little plastic bits. And I the other day was like, I want to get out my shrinky dink shit and I want to make some shrinky dink protest shit. And I went, why do I want to craft? I have like 10,000 things I need to be doing on my computer. I'm like, I want to.
What's up with your Leo?
What's up with my Leo?
Where is your Leo? Remind?
11th house.
Yeah.
I was like, what if I make lunar water and like sell little containers of like magic potion stuff? And I'm like, okay, well, if I'm going to do that, why don't I do something with cell salts? I'm like, you're not a doctor. And I'm like, nobody's going to care. We're entering a time in the world where you can be
Would it interest you to know that I am participating in a potion making class on Sunday?
More information, please.
I'll let you know.
Okay. That's amazing. Okay. What do we want to tell the people watching about? Well, first of all, have conversations with your bestie and let them go where they go. You will be in a better mood, I promise.
I already am.
I so am. I so am.
Same. What do we want to tell people? I think, I mean, really what you said, I think that community is what doesn't get us out of this, but what helps us hold on in the midst of it.
I like that.
And just my thing to myself recently has been just do one thing and not do capitalist grind culture, blah, blah, blah. But what's one thing I can do? Today, I printed something. Now, I did more than that over the course of the day, but that was important to me. I'm just looping, 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 trying to figure it out, dealing with activism. I'm like, I don't know. I'm supposed to be teaching this stuff. What the hell?
For
How
real.
about I just print it out, put it in a folder, and then actually I can look at it. And there's something that's happened and I can reference it. And, I think just doing something, just something. If you I know you're kind of like about Enneagram, but there are some things about it that make a lot of sense to me. When I finally gave into it and figured out what it was, it makes total sense. And so I tend to be more of a feeler than a thinker, and then a thinker than I feel about my thinking, and then I think about my feeling. And at some point, someone was like, do something, just do. Get up and do one thing. Walk the dog, do. Get out of, don't even talk about it, don't even feel about it, just do. So if you tend to be more of a doer, maybe allow yourself to feel a little bit. If you tend to be more of a thinker, maybe do, I mean, just whatever it is that might not be the most comfortable, but might need to be what needs to happen to move you out of the despair. Because sadness and despair are two very different things.
For sure. For sure. I have a thing
Yes.
based on Abraham Hicks' work.
Oh.
There is this emotional guidance scale, and this is something that our team made for our Getting Gear for the Next Year actor showbiz 100-day challenge. And the idea is that we move up through these emotions, and the top is joy and love and freedom and appreciation, da 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 da.
Yeah.
But that each of these is to be celebrated for being able to move out of the one that was below it, with the lowest being depression, and right above that, powerlessness, fear, despair, grief. So when we're feeling hate and rage, which I find myself in quite a bit with my Mercury conjunct Mars in the sign of Mars's fall. Yeah.
I don't have that excuse or that reason,
That's
rather.
true. I have a great excuse, right? So let's get in on
And
the
I still feel it.
So when we are in these places, all of them are better than these places.
Yeah.
And that is to be celebrated. And that means when I leave anger, revenge, hate, rage stuff, and actually I'm just in this state of worry or overwhelm, I need to acknowledge this is not just all in a bucket at the bottom of the scale. This is actually a little better, a little brighter. And one of the techniques that we teach with this scale, which again is Abraham Hicks scale that we just redid into our own little artwork here. What we love to do with this is, if we are stuck over here somewhere, the question is, and this is where we involve Mercury and Mercury retrograde especially, do I believe there is a version of me who can reach hope or optimism? You're like, nope, no chance for optimism. Jupiter, not here at all. Okay, great. Fine. How about, can we get you feeling content or even bored? Can we get you
Content
feeling?
is good. I used to be really bored with content, and I'm like, okay, it's okay to be content.
Content is great.
What if I
Content is
don't have
definitely
drama?
on. That's right.
What if I don't have drama?
And being able to feel eager for anything, being able to
Mhm.
feel empowered, appreciated, like all of these things. This is why having an animal is so valuable, because I get to experience joy every day, love every day, freedom every day, appreciation every day, empowerment every day, knowledge every day, passion every day, enthusiasm every day, eagerness every day, happiness every day, positive expectation every day, because of my puppy. I get to go visit these at least briefly at some point every damn day.
And I think that's really key, that some days you might sit in joy for much longer.
Sure.
Some seasons you might scooch down a little bit. And so, piggybacking on what you were saying, it's not about you'll never be in any of these places. Like you move up. It's almost like a helical model of, you might move up, you might touch point with this, and then maybe it's like that's almost like some Mercury retrograde stuff. Depends on, you get to go back, move over here in one day. I mean, in this one conversation, I've, at the end of it, I feel hopeful because there's another human in it with me. And what I also know is that there are many more humans in it
That's
with us. And hopefully the really nice aliens are as well, and they can hear all of this.
right.
Hmm.
I hope for that. I'm going to check one more thing because I took a screen grab of it yesterday because it was so good. Let me see if I can find it.
I like that, what you showed
The
just a minute
scale.
ago.
Yeah, we'll make a version of that scale that's for like for our stuff.
Okay. We had to tell people about that too. Can we tell them about that on here or
Yes,
no?
because we do. We have another one coming up on the 27th of November, 11
Webinar on
11 a.m. Pacific.
fakesgiving,
Yep. Sure do.
FAKE.
Sure do. Astrology of Activism. I'm looking. Hang on. I'm gonna look one more place. You do know how to get there. Come on, little computer. I'm trying to access my laptop in the other room.
Oh,
And so, because the thing that, I promise it'll be worth it. Okay, I'm gonna get
no,
there.
I believe you.
I'm gonna get
I
there.
don't have anywhere to be.
All right, here we go. This was from the delightful B. Skolnick, Rebecca Skolnick. She's the author of A Witch's Guide to Numerology. I think I'm getting that title right. And she was sharing some brilliant stuff about her experiences in a master's degree program. And she said, there, I'm going to share my screen because I did find it. Because what you said landed me to this memory. She shared healing, like everything else,
Yeah.
is a constant arrival without ever arriving.
Hmm. Hmm.
And I went, that's it. It's
Yeah.
not that we're never going to be at these other places on the scale. It's not that we're hoping that we graduate and get to the top of the scale and that's where we live now. And then something's wrong when we dip back down. We are always trying to arrive to better feeling place, healthier me,
Hmm.
more content me, more faith in whatever me. And there is no, okay, good, you got there, dismount, take a bow, now you live there. That doesn't happen.
Mm-mm. And how do you know that you're even in a good place if you haven't experienced the opposite? I mean,
So
whatever good is, you know what I mean? Like,
I do.
how do you know that you ever loved something? Martin Prechtel, um, about grief and praise. How do you know that you ever really loved something if you don't experience grief, if it's not there, whether it's somebody goes on a vacation or a trip and then they come back and you're like, oh, I missed you, if, how
So
do you
true.
know?
So true. So true. That place of being grateful for those sensations. Like if I get into that grief place or melancholy, nostalgia, whatever, I'll go, oh, I'm so glad that I can remember that I love hard and that I miss that. And that was neat. And it doesn't mean I want to change my life now and go back to that because I can't, don't want to.
Right.
It is just, oh, what a nice human memory I'm having. And just like when I have a pain and I say, thank you for reminding me I'm in a body. When I have big emotion, I go, thank you for reminding me I care a lot.
Mm-hmm. And I feel like this would be a good time to go full circle and say some people do not feel that.
At all.
Some people do not have that range of, like, I don't know where they get stuck, but I bet if we pulled it out again, we could see they just don't. And so they will never experience, I think they're just capped,
There's that, and again, it's like isolating yourself when you are a celebrity and you have nothing but yes men around you. They will make sure that you have all the drugs you want and all the whatever vices are your vices, you will have them and you will be told it's not a problem until you die. And then everybody's asking, how could you let that happen to this brilliant artist?
Mm-hmm.
And it is a sad thing to me that some people are so isolated from the rest of the human experience that they don't get to know the beauty of living through something, making something work, struggling through it, because there is something really beautiful about that.
Mm-hmm.
But we don't need to struggle quite so much. We check. We
Just get your foot off the back of our necks.
That part.
And I say that knowing that the foot is not on the back of my neck.
Right.
Like the foot is on the back of many people's necks.
Yep. And the thing I have committed to do with my privilege is make sure that I'm helping create a system that is better for everyone.
Right.
That my privilege in this system is just because I won the genetic lottery and prioritized education and got my brain where it is. Good job. Lots of student loans for that. You betcha. Pay into the economy that way, whatever. Bullshit. All that. I actually said to Keith, hey, you know what? You want to pay off your student loans? Go join ICE. And he was like, I can't even believe you said that. And I was like, I'm joking. I'm joking. There is nothing worth. Like, it was a joke. But I'm like, what if you're in a place where you go, actually, economically, that would be really helpful. Like,
do you know that they're advertising on Spotify?
I had an ad in my
my God,
Words with Friends game on my iPad. A recruitment ad. Mm-hmm. So I got to look at that and go, sure. I am using my privilege in this world to help make it a place where that is not happening.
Right.
And then what's the next thing I can do? And when I go, nope, I'm overwhelmed. I don't go, I'm a failure. I'm not doing what I said I would do. I am overwhelmed. Thank you for reminding me. I am in a human system that does shut down sometimes. Nervous system gets overwhelmed. It's real.
The thing.
All right. We don't know when we're going to come back to visit the people on the YouTubes. Thank you for watching.
I love this. We have to.
Yeah. Encourage us to do this more, just even if it's random like this, y'all, because we've got a little thing in both our heads that the next iteration is so great. We want to make sure that we have it all right. Yeah. And then that's part of what keeps it from happening, because this is easy to do.
Yeah. I think that what we're doing right now will inform that. I don't think we're going to have to try to come up with because I think we're already doing that. It's just not in it is a circuitous route.
The creative process is always evolving, and co-creative processes mean we are both uniquely on our own creative process place in the map, and then we have to intersect in ways that make that easy for us to do. I'm not nervous about any phase of that because creativity doesn't look like a map that makes sense to most brains.
It looks like my office does right now, and I will not show you. That's what's in my brain. You know, the other thing is, and I do know we need to wrap up, I feel like there've been so many, and we can do that, you and I, as we found. It was very helpful to have another person who was a little more grounded. And so we've got all the ideas, and I think sometimes you just have to, you know, pull back, look down, and go, okay, now I've got these ideas, and ideas are great, but then what?
Yeah.
So I am making every attempt in a very healthy, non-shaming way to finish some of the things I started this year. I have multiple, like I have been writing like it's just crazy town.
You've been prolific AF. It's been inspiring and intimidating.
But I mean, well, don't be intimidated because at least you can figure out Canva. You should have heard me last night. Mother effing.
Were you cussing out my boyfriend Canva again?
Yes. Yes. And part of it, I think, probably was this retrograde thing because the formatting and all kinds of stuff was a mess. But
Yeah.
I'm just trying to make it simple, get the things out, do the things that I've already started, clear it, go. I'm never going to do this. Just put it somewhere, or maybe I won't do it right now. Maybe I'll come back to it because you've done some of that.
For sure. There have been projects that I've known I want to start for years and years and years that I then put aside and go, there will be a day that I wake up and go, it's time. And then it will be easy and it will come together like whoosh. And I will be so glad because there's not a version of me who could have created it sooner than that exact moment and have it be this. That's the part you have to trust about the creative process. When you are not actively creating something in ways that you can check off, okay, I did this, I did this, I did this, you are actually in the process of becoming the person you need to be in order to get to the check, 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 check on all of that.
And that's where we are. It's in a
Love
file.
it. Love it. Love it. Doesn't mean we're depressed about the astrology of the coming months. It doesn't mean we can't get it up for the world that we're experiencing.
Right.
It means we're in a creative process, and a creative process is messy, and that's fine. I love you.
I love you too.
Happy anniversary.
Oh, thank you. Bye.
Bye, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us. Leave us some feedback. How are you doing? We want to know.